Hey everyone, it's Alex here. So have you ever found yourself having these two very different situations in life? So sometimes it feels like everything is working out perfectly. You really feel like you're in a flow of life and everything that you want is just landing on your lap without you even trying, and everything just seems to come together easily and effortlessly. And then on contrast to that, you have these times in your life where everything feels challenging. Everything feels like hard work, like an uphill struggle, and you just don't seem to be able to get anywhere. And I would like to share with you what I believe is going on when these two very polar opposite experiences happen. Now, I'm just sharing this from my experience, and it may or may not resonate with some of you, but I believe that when I've been in those places in my life where I have been struggling, where everything is difficult, where everything feels like it's backfiring all the time, that what I've discovered in hindsight is that I was on the wrong path at the time. And of course, I don't know that at the time. You have to go down that path to figure that out. But always, when I look back, I can see that it wasn't the right thing for me. And so I have started to cultivate more awareness, I guess, of how things show up for me and how I experience different situations in my life. And if I ever find that I'm having these kind of experiences where literally you feel like you're just butting your head against the wall, where you feel like everything is going wrong, nothing ever works, it's just really hard work, I now start to question and see this as a possible indication from the universe that I am doing something I shouldn't be doing, or this is not the path for me. I'm trying to achieve something that is not for me. I'm trying to get somewhere that is not my path. And on contrast to that, when I've had experiences where things have almost like miraculously come together in ways that I could never have expected. And it's only because I've had these experiences that it brings my awareness to it, that then when it happens the next time, I'm even more aware of it. And so I now have a bunch of situations that have happened throughout my life where I'm so aware that it was like a miracle that these things ever happened, like money appearing out of the most unexpected places when I needed it and had no idea that I could get it, jobs being offered to me when I needed them, and from totally unexpected places, but like amazing places, just opportunities and doors opening that solve my problems before they even became a problem, And when I've been in those situations, I know that is me being guided, that I feel that in those moments I am being supported by the universe, and that is the path that I'm supposed to go down for my highest good and for the well-being and good of others. So this is something that I'm now very, kind of attuned to, and I do pay attention to. And when these things happen, it's much easier for me to then say, okay, well, I'm having this experience over here where this is challenging, this is not working, everything is feeling really tough here and I'm not making any progress. I will then start to look at that and think, okay, is this something I should be putting less energy into? Is this something I should be moving away from? And likewise, when I have the other experiences, of course, I just go head first into it and I don't even think about it. I'm just like, yes, this is unfolding, this is working out, this is absolutely what I need to be doing. So, I could give you a ton of different examples for what I've been talking about, but I will pick just one because I don't want this video to be too long. But I remember when, this is years ago now, when I had just newly qualified as a yoga teacher, and I had got my first job teaching in a surf camp in Morocco. And so I went over to Morocco, and I was over there for 3 or 4 months, and I was teaching twice a day to the people who were on holiday, on like a surfing holiday, and then wanted to have a good stretch like before and after the surf. And during that time, I was really trying to make decisions about what I would do when this contract was over. Before I had gone out there, I had like a lot of things in my life had changed. I just started this new career. I didn't have a base anymore because I'd left all of that to go study in India and do the training. And so I didn't know where I was going back to. I didn't know. There were a lot of like unanswered questions. And I knew that in order to start teaching yoga regularly, I needed to choose a base and stay still somewhere. I'm a bit of a nomad, so that's can be quite challenging for me to make a decision to actually stay somewhere. And during this time when I was in Morocco, I was just like, thinking about this, and it wasn't a stressful thing because I was fine in the moment. I knew that I had a few months still in Morocco and I was enjoying my experience there. But what I noticed was that I kept meeting people who would talk about Bristol. Now, if you're not from the UK, Bristol's a place in the southwest of England, and I hadn't really had any experience with Bristol before. I grew up in London. I had a rough idea where Bristol was, but that was about where my knowledge of it stopped. And I kept meeting people who either were from Bristol or went to university in Bristol or had a brother or a sister or someone in Bristol. And all of a sudden, this name just kept coming up. And I was like, this is interesting. Like, why does this keep happening? And then as I explored it a bit more, I discovered that Bristol is quite a creative place. There are lots of like yogis there, lots of conscious people, lots of musical people, like really creative types go there. So it sounded like it would be a great place for me. And then I found that when I, was getting closer to leaving Morocco, I was like, well, how can I just move to Bristol? I don't know anybody there. How am I going to get work as a yoga teacher in a city where I don't know anybody? And then I was just like on Gumtree one day, and I can't even remember what I was looking for, but it wasn't anything to do with what I found. And this advert popped up for a yoga business for sale in Bristol. And I was like, oh my God. And so I looked into it, and because I had been hearing these signs about Bristol. So I looked into it, and I then discovered that, it was going to be quite expensive, and I didn't really have the money at the time. I'd just spent thousands of pounds on my training, and, I needed to start earning some of that back first. And then literally a few weeks later, money came to me that was completely unexpected and out of a place I could never have imagined that it would come from, that was enough to cover the business. So long story short, I ended up buying the business, moving to Bristol, and everything just went like plain sailing. Everything happened so easily and effortlessly. I even managed to find a room with a friend of a friend, and so straight away I had a place to live and friends, and it was literally like the universe conspired to help make that happen. And I ended up having a very successful yoga business and career in Bristol for several years. And it's one of those times that I look back at and I'm like, yeah, like I was on the right path. That was what I was supposed to be doing. That was where I was supposed to be at that moment in my time, in my life. And then, I quite easily can look at other situations where it was not like that whatsoever. And I realized that, you know, those situations were not for me at that time. So I just wanted to share that with you, because maybe you're having similar situations, and maybe maybe it could bring some awareness to whether you feel this is the same for you. And, you know, it might make you think twice about putting energy into something that just isn't really working. And maybe there's another direction that the universe is trying to tell you to go in. So I really hope that's helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If you've had any experiences like me, I'd really love to hear them. Or if you're struggling and things feel difficult right now, then please share. And, you know, people get value from the comments in these videos. And I will speak to you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.